The Environmental Protection Agency announced significant rollbacks to power plant pollution limits. The agency has proposed cutting regulations that curb air pollution from fossil fuel power plants in an effort, it says, to boost economic growth. The rules were put in place first by the Biden administration to fight climate change. I want to bring in national environmental correspondent David Schechter, who joins us from Bridgeport, Connecticut. David, what is the significance of what the EPA announced today?
Hey, Major, so break that down into two pieces. The first rule that the EPA wants to revoke are controls over carbon dioxide from power plants, essentially. Carbon dioxide is the driver of climate change, gets into the atmosphere, and that's what warms up our planet. The second thing they'd like to revoke is the amount of mercury that comes out of power plants. That is a powerful neurotoxin, and that's what comes out of really coal-fired power plants. So the industry, without these regulations, the EPA says, would save $1.2 billion a year in additional costs, but it also would make it easier for those industries to pollute. As you mentioned, these were Biden-era regulations, and these rules just came into effect in 2024 and have not actually been implemented yet. There's a timeline for them to be implemented. So what the Trump administration is saying is, we don't want those rules, we won't implement them, and that will make it easier on businesses, lowering regulation on the businesses. I would add one more thing that I think is pretty interesting, politically, that Administrator Zeldin of the EPA, Administrator Lee Zeldin, is saying now that carbon dioxide from power plants is not a significant contributor to climate change. And so if that is then the case, then the EPA wouldn't have to regulate that anymore as a pollutant. But in fact, that is actually not true. According to the EPA's own information, which I've looked at many, many times in putting together reports, carbon dioxide is 31% of our carbon dioxide in this country is coming from the power industry, from the creation of power. It is the number two the number two driver of climate change gases in this country. And so what now the EPA is saying is we don't want to regulate that as much from power plants. And in fact, we don't want to regulate that really at all, Major.
David Schechter, thank you so much. I appreciate that.